Oh, who just left? Hello, hello, and welcome to Amethyst Tier 2, back at Silverstone on a lovely Sunday. It's me, Martin. I'm joined by Pavic today as we get ready for the rundown of what we are having happen today. So it's Silverstone, known to everyone, used to be a military air hangar. 2 DRS sections. The Hangar Straight and the Wellington Straight. 18 turns, quite an elevated track, especially as you go the raised part through Sector 1. We've seen some brilliant battles here. Perez and Raikkonen in 2021. And of course, the big incident between Hamilton and Verstappen in Cops. The tyre compounds for today will be C3, C2 and C1, the hardest compounds to offer. As we get ready for qualifying, there will be a lobby restart today. Hello, hello. As the first car on the track is a Haas, normally will mean it's Kvyat. And it is Kvyat who'll be the first car rounding this track. And he spins! And he spins.
Seems to be a common thing with people who run no traction control. The bumps get them. See, the first one is Kvyat, behind him is Aston Martin of McWilliams.
Making his debut today is Ivanov as well, in the Williams team. Williams TP Pavic here. How do you feel about that?
I feel I've not seen him race, but from what I have been told, he should be good.
And,
Let's hope he does deliver.
There is a lot of cars on the track in the same area.
It's true. It's a big train.
It is
Wonder if people will start backing off to actually give each other room and not get blocked. That's a yellow flag for slowing down.
But it's going to be Kidju. We're going to ride on board with Kidju as he does this lap. He's going to be the first one to take us around Silverstone.
Indeed.
All 18 cars currently on the track. As we come
Some
down.
getting around later than others, but Kiziel is just take us away, yeah.
It was just going through the loop, and now it's onto Aintree, and then it'll be onto the first DRS straight, the Wellington straight.
See, these few corners can be a tricky one to nail down.
Multiple lines to take through Brooklands and Luffield that give different results for the Hamilton straight that we're coming up to now, and then it'll be onto Copse.
Copse also a hard corner to nail down. You wanna kind of eat a lot of the curve as you get in, and then use a lot of the track when you get out. Maggots and Beckett's now. Thing if you wanna focus on your apexes here, get good exit out onto the hanger straight.
This is the hanger straight indeed. It's downhill.
I
as
got
well.
it right. See, now going around into Stowe. Stowe also a very tricky corner to nail down as Jividar has tired. See what that is as Kiziel now comes around
Through club.
the last corner.
Oh, and there's a Spun Williams there.
And that is how Jividar is retired as Kiziel sets a 27.4 as a banker lap.
So your new driver has binned it on the that's a DNF fee right there, lad.
That is indeed.
But Huveniers looks like he's on a fast one. Where is he? Is that Huveniers? Yes, it is Huveniers. How's Purple Sector 1?
See, 103.5 split for him.
As Rasmussen just goes behind Kiziel. Harris did a lap on the medium tyre. As Rossi goes P3.
Seems like Harris will be saving a set for the race.
But there's no lobby restart.
I don't know. I think
Swan has a free place. As Huveniers does best Kiziel's time, just about. And then it's going to be Bean now coming around the final corner of club. And Bean's sets a very slow time. Possibly doing a second out lap, I would gather.
Doesn't seem like he doesn't have the fuel.
So it's going to be much.
Ooh,
Goes P15.
137.
As everyone else is
spins.
Oh, he does spin. Yeah.
Thankfully, he's in nobody's way.
It also wasn't caught perfectly on the stream because it changed camera. Harris went on the wrong tyre by accident, but he was only 6/10 down on the medium tyre.
He says he's on the wrong tyre, but he's P9. He is not actually far off Will Swan pace. Or lap, rather, sorry.
And Matthews, who's invalidated his lap. So, Matthews invalidating the party before it had even begun, sadly.
Anyone actually beginning to do a lap?
Oh, he went on. Harris went on harder tyre compound selection on accident, so he had one less set of softs.
Ah, right. I mean, I'd say he did harder until he did well in terms of his misfortunes. As there's only 3 cars out, but I believe they're all doing an in-lap.
Bean has lost it in club there by the looks of it.
He was preparing to do a lap, but
no more. As
I
Much
think he
comes
has
into
to
the
go
pits.
through with it.
He does. He
And he spins again.
Bean spins. And Day has joined.
Okay, he did announce he will join.
He did. Hopefully he picks the right car.
Yep.
So Bean not setting up. Looks like Matthew's going for another one.
Let's see.
Does he have the fuel? We'll see now as he starts his lap now. Matthew's now coming in to Abbey. And then it will be into Village. And then through Village towards Loop. And then it's Aintree.
Yeah, well, apologies. I've been messaged. Seems so. Seems good of a lap by Matthew so far, but there's still a lot of corners.
6/10 down in the first sector to Houveniers. So currently through the first sector he's would be like 9th place.
He can still make up the time. He's got most of
through
sector
Cops.
2 left.
Oh, and he spins! He spins on Cops.
Exit of Cops.
Oh, lucky not to take his rear wheel off there.
Hopefully he's not giving himself wing damage there.
But
if
Matthews
he has, he's gonna
will not be happy with that lap. And and he spins again.
And he spins again.
Oh, I thought he was going to go into the wall.
Oh, was close.
His tyres must be cooking. But we're going to switch to the Ferrari of Marco Mangano because he's getting ready to start his lap now. As he comes around the final few corners, a lot of traffic out there once again.
Like most cars, he didn't take a very wide line to set himself up for the exit.
And here comes Marco Mangano now. Through Abbey, then into the farm curve. Car looking a little bit loose. As he now comes into Village. But through Village cleanly and then onto the loop.
Kind of a bit wide of the apex there as he
Takes the Hawkins line. But he's right behind Houveniers, who's 900ths.
See, taking it very tight through. Luffield was that? Just before the Hamilton straight?
Yeah, that's Luffield, and then you come on into Woodcote, the one that they take right on the inside.
Yeah. See, going through Maggots and Beckett right now.
And then through the Chapel Curve onto the Hangar Straight.
See, seems to have.
As Kizio improves, going back to P1.
Fully missed Kiziel's lap there.
I thought Kizio was later out of the pits, but Kizio has put an absolute astounding lap in.
Marco Mangano is
He's
5
cooking.
tenths up on his lap. He is indeed cooking.
One last corner.
And
it's good enough for
P3.
Right behind his teammate. And now it's going to be the Aston Martin of Potts improving to P12. McWilliams looking to see if he can find some time. And does improve for P10. And there's a Red Bull, I believe, of Vlad. No, it is Much. Is Much starting his lap or is he on his lap? He's starting his lap now. So it will be Vlad is the next car then to be coming to the start-finish line to set his lap. He's currently green in sector 1 and 2. Final corner. And it's P2 for Rosu.
Yellow flags for Marco Mangano letting the driver.
But Houveniers now, who was the fastest car after the first lot, improves, but doesn't improve his position. Less than a tenth separates the top 4.
Holy throws himself into the mixture.
Oh!
1,000th ahead of Houveniers.
That is tight margins. And the next to come across the line by the looks of it is Van Loon. And Van Loon puts himself up into P7 ahead of your driver. And then I believe it may be Bean starting his lap. I'm just trying to work out.
Vandenberg is getting ready to cross the line.
Vandenberg currently in P10. We'll be looking
2
to...
tenths up, it seemed. See, through the last corner now, and he puts himself P5.
Oh, goes ahead of Marco Mangano. And,
right between the Ferraris.
But the top 4 separated by less than a tenth, and then it's 2 tenths down to Vandenberg, as Much seems to be pulling out of his lap. But Harris looks like...
Vlad Rosu spun on his hot lap.
Vlad has spun on his in lap.
Was it in the in lap? My bad. It seemed like the hot lap.
Harris has invalidated his lap, so he might be coming straight into the pits. He might have enough fuel, but let's see. Okay, he's going to be starting. Matthews also starting his lap. Day is on his out lap, but Soybean, who's been very fast, who's currently invalidated his lap actually. So again, not.
Well, Soybean's actually gonna do a lap. Will his teammate actually get any use out of him?
So Bean starting his lap now. Van Loon into the pits. I believe the Red Bull of Much though. Where is Much? Much currently running in P12.
Coming up to Stowe right now. I believe he's gonna pit because he doesn't seem to have the battery.
As one of the definitely into the pit is Bean. Is that Bean spinning again?
That is indeed Bean. He has spun on his hot lap.
So Bean not looking too hot here. Really, it's Soybean more like soy milk. The way he's squeezing out no performance. But it's going to be Matthews, who I believe is the next car to be finishing his lap. As he now comes in to the Vale chicane. And then it's just Club. Where can Matthews put it? And Matthews
P16
goes P16, beating Bean's time. But currently Day will be wanting to set an impressive lap time here. And
104.2 split, nearly a 104.3.
It was only green sectors though, through 1 and 2. What can Day do? Ooh, gets very loose on the exit there. And rides that sausage curb, really throwing his car off.
I was gonna say, it's a common place for a lot of cars to get squiggly. Let's hope he doesn't block Kevin Potts here who's starting his lap.
So Potts
he does move out of his way.
Potts starting his lap. Where is Potts? Potts is currently riding only P15 for Potts. Last season was right in the title hunt until the end. This season is only reserving.
This is true. Let's see. He is currently coming out of Sector 1 now. He is
down on his time.
Down on his time.
But he was right behind Rosu's Sector 1 as well, so yeah, both Potts and Rosu...
Very slightly down on his time, wasn't huge.
But both Potts and Rosu, he wasn't even a tenth down on the fastest Sector 1, and it was still a yellow Sector 1. So that shows you sort of limits these guys have been pushing through this track.
Seems turn 2 and Sector 2 and 3 will be the biggest deciders in terms of laps.
Maggots and Beckett.
And
Potts gets a little bit loose out there.
103.9 split for him coming out onto the hanger straight.
Where can Potts put it? He'll be wanting to have a good performance here in his home track. Coming now through the Vale chicane.
She's coming through the last turn right now.
Exits
Club of the curb.
And it's only
P11.
And that, I don't think he has enough time for another lap.
I believe that will be the last, as we see most of the grid is actually on their own lap.
Skowski is starting.
Skowski is literally just fresh on the lap, yes.
So Skowski now coming through Village. swings it down through right, and then it's left through the loop onto Aintree, and then on into the Wellington straight. The first DRS section of this track. Expect to see some absolute monster moves in the race into Brooklands. As
And that is Day just retiring in the
he
pits.
doesn't have time for another lap, so it's only P17 for Day. There is a lobby restart, just so everyone is aware, as it is very busy on the track. All but 2 cars on the track right now. Looks like Potts looking to give McWilliams a tow, possibly.
Will he have the
Skowski though?
Block anyone.
Skowski coming through the Maggots and Beckett's now onto the Wellington straight. Is a purple sector 2 for Skowski, flying through sector 2. He's still a little bit off of Kiziel's time though. Was less than a tenth down though, so Skowski could really put his name into the mixer here. Just the final few corners.
See, 103.4 split he had.
And Skowski goes P2. 600ths off of Kiziel's time. Kiziel's still currently P1. As next I believe it is Matthews, who's actually invalidated. So Matthews will not be improving on his time. And comes into the pit, so it'll be Ule. The next driver. Currently in P4. Is he finding time here? Is he going to be able to take that top step as things are? Ule rounds the final corner now. Was only a yellow sector 2. Improves, but doesn't improve by enough. Remains P4. Vlad goes up into P2. McWilliams finds P11 there. I think it is Huveniers. No, it is Marco Mangano crossing the line. Only P7 doesn't find more time. Now it is going to be Alex Harris. Harris only fast enough for P8. Next is going to be
Alfred Monk is right crossing the line now.
Pips Harris.
P8.
Then it's Van Loon, goes P11. Then Fantenberg, who goes P6. Now it's going to be Rasmussen, currently in P10. Rasmussen
P11
goes
for him.
P11. Kiziel, though, with Swan just ahead. What time is Swan going to set? Kiziel has a purple sector 2. Kiziel's finding more time on this track. And Kiziel goes even faster.
Nearly into the 126s.
What a lap. Kiziel lighting up the timing board.
That was insane. Let's see if Kiziel is able to translate that pace into the race.
That was a big lap from Kiziel. Very tight though. The top 15 separated by a second. The top 10 separated by 5/10.
Evan Potts is still on the track.
Wait, what? Oh, he is as well. God.
He is. The
game is doing some funky stuff with Van Loon.
That's okay because we're having a lobby restart.
It is.
Well,
Kiziel will be on pole for this. Swan, only P11, will be also getting a free place grid penalty to serve.
Putting him down to P14.
But there is your grid lineup for this race. We're going to get on the way. We've got a lobby restart to do, and then we get ready to race.
Whilst we're here, who does chat think's gonna win today? Van Loon. Nice of Unfi to cheer on his team principal. Personally, I don't think Van Loon's gonna win. Harris for the win. Harris did do very well in Monaco, so maybe he can have
finding pace in a race.
It's true. Let's hope Harris can claw through the field and give us a sensational race in that case.
It was very tight between a lot of the drivers. I expect to see a lot of good tight racing throughout the field.
Unfi saying don't sleep on the Alpine master plan.
Yeah, that's correct. No formation lap.
Nope, that thing is still broken.
They'll never fix it.
Not for this game.
There once was a time when it worked in 2021.
And then EA came into the picture.
It is what it is, though, as we're going to get the drivers into the lobby now.
Right.
Right.
Sanjay Pinala. You dirty man. I've just seen what has been said. Hopefully, Ivanov can have a much better race than his qualifying. Sadly, losing it on the final corner before setting a lap time and sadly eating the wall. He met your good friend Barry R. I am very good friends with Barry R. He welcomed him with open hands.
Rasmussen, Kizio. I work out how I'm missing after.
God. Alex Johnson has caught some of the smoke as well.
Destruction.
Sanjay Pinala taking no prisoners.
It is on smoke. Okay. You're not in the lobby yet.
That is correct, I'm not.
Where are you? There you are. Da, 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 da.
I will be shortly.
And then I've got to try and work out the two drivers who are currently missing.
See.
We're missing one driver now, and it's not it's not the Alpine. It's someone who isn't the Alpine. What other team? So Swan needs to pick his car.
Souvenirs?
Yes, it is Souvenirs.
Where has Justin gone?
I've sent him an invite. I also require Swan to pick his car and you to go into spectator.
It's the least of our issues.
There are two drivers missing, not one.
There's...
Is the other one Day by any chance?
Believe...
Yes, it's Day and Houveniers we're missing.
There is Day. Just Houveniers now.
Oh, Houveniers is in as well. I just need the two guys to pick their cars.
You can get on our way.
Would you like to tell Swan to pick his car? There we go. And now let's get the grid set up. So, da, 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 da.
Oh God!
What is it?
Chat is not a big fan of Alfa Romeo.
Swan just caught smoke as well.
It's like I said, Alex Harris really is taking no prisoners.
Demon time. Okay, da, 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 da. Just going to do the grid now. So, on pole was Kiziel.
It was indeed.
P2 for Rosu. Rosu making his triumphant return. Skowski put a big time in for P3. P4 for Ule. It's an all Alfa Romeo, all Polish second row. Huveniers could only get P5. P6 was Vandenberg. 7th for Much. 8th for Marco. 9th was Alfred Monk. 10th went to Alex Harris. 11th was Will Swan. 12th was Rasmussen.
Matthias Rasmussen, yes.
13th Van Noon. 14th McWilliams. 15th was Evan Potts. 16th Matthews. 17th Day. 18th for Soybean. And 19th for the debutant in Ivanov. And
He sadly DNF'd.
I'm gonna say this now. It's not a good day so far for AlphaTauri. They
really isn't.
They could only beat one guy who didn't set a lap. So
Personally,
there's been a few predictions in chat. Kiziel will retain the lead. Monk's going to get caught in a lap 1 incident, and Potts will get DNF'd. He's one of the guys' predictions.
Oh, there is also conspiracies against you saying that you used voodoo on our new driver.
Sometimes it has to be done.
Hey yo.
Sometimes you do have to do acts of voodoo on the Williams team.
Potts won't DNF. Well, if last season Silverson's anything to go off of, he'll just be back of the grid.
Alright, we're going to get the boys to ready up, because we're about to go and get racing.
Indeed.
Oh.
So I think that said Soybean said he set a 41.7.
I know, rapid.
And someone said they should call him 3G for that.
Jesus.
Really is. Quite clearly he is cheating. Rumor has it one of the Mercedes drivers playing RuneScape.
And it's it's raining!
Ooh,
We have
that is
rain!
very interesting.
This spices everything up.
Will it be an Alfred Monk masterclass yet again?
We will see. But this is massive. It's absolutely chucking it down as well.
Will it be full wet? Personally,
welcome to England, where the weather is never good.
that is also true. Tier 2 with the back-to-back rain.
Will it get better later on, is the question.
As it stands, it looks like full wet weather.
It does look full wet, but might conditions improve throughout the race?
That is true. Personally, I hope it is full wet because it makes interesting.
But what happens if it's dry towards the end?
Then it makes it also very interesting because you'll get somebody taking a risk to go in early, and some will just stay out on their wets/inters. See, and it is full wets, I believe.
It is indeed.
This has me excited.
Will Rosu get a better start than Kizyul? They're away, and who will be taking us into the lead through to turn 1? It looks like Kizyul definitely get a solid start there. It's action-packed further back though. As the there we go.
There was actually
and it's Harris. Alex Harris has been spun.
Alex Harris has returned.
And there's battles going on as Potts side by side with Van Loon for P10. Ule and Fantenberg. Fantenberg and Ule running very wide there. And it's going to enable Mangano to get past Ule. Ule falling back through the grid here as Much looking to make a move on him as well.
It's true. So far so good. Actually hasn't been any massive incidents.
Swan up into P13 now. As
Ule clean racing.
Ule down to 7th, having to defend off Much here. And still having to defend. Is there damage on Ule's front wing there?
Doesn't... I'm trying to see. It doesn't look like it.
And Much running a bit wide now. Going to come under pressure from Monk. Let's ride on board with Monk for this.
See, Soybean overtook Rasmussen slightly further back for P11.
Kizyul though has pulled out quite a big gap already.
Yes, Hooveners go for
and
a
Skalski
move
has
into
got
spot.
past Rosu for P2. Munch running very deep. Munch running extremely deep. Monk now all over the back of Much. Maybe looking for a move into the Val chicane, but thinks better of it. Just follows behind Much.
See, and that is... I'm not sure who that is. It was for one of the Mercedes. I believe it was Luke Matthews who we got that yellow flag for.
Oh, and there's a big gap between Matthews.
Oh, Luke Matthews actually has wing damage.
Oh, well, that's not good to see, especially around this track. You need your wings. As further back, you see Ivanov, McWilliams and Alex Harris getting into a three-way duel as Hooveners actually gets past Vlad Rosu on the hanger straight. Very close stuff. The Ferrari...
Side by side they are at the moment. Yellow flags for...
And it's Soybean who's spun.
Yellow flags for
Bean.
Soybean, yeah. And McWilliams all the way back is missing a front wing.
I wonder if there was a coming together with him and Matthews possibly. As meanwhile, Monk has now got past Much and Potts has followed suit right behind former teammates. But is that Potts missing a front wing? Potts is missing his front wing.
He is.
And Swan looking to go side by side through Maggots and Beckett's. And all this contact! And it was Day and Much. Day and Much kind of coming together through Maggots and Beckett's.
Oh!
What just happened?
Chivador collects Much, and Chivador now has to pit for a wing.
And that's a full safety car as Much is out. And anyone who lost their wing has been basically given a lifeline here.
Yeah, they have.
But that was
well, Alex Harris. Oh, I thought he had wing damage. He doesn't.
Oh, and it's a double stack as Ivanov also speeds into the pits. So let's have a look. Who are the big gainers and the big losers? The big gainers here is Swan up 5, Day up 7, and Bean also up 5. The big losers though will be Much, who's DNF sadly. From it's going to be very interesting to
see.
Yes, I'm sure we're going to get a ticket on the incident between Day and Much. And it looked like just not enough room was given from the angle we had, causing Much to spin. Rosu is down 2 places so far, and this is bad news for Kizyul because he had pulled quite a nice gap to Skalski. But now Skowski is right behind him once again, and Hooveneers as well.
Kizyol must be gutted, but
Kizyol had an electric start.
If his race start is anything to go off of, he can probably gap them on the safety car restart as well.
It was Rosu, and Rosu's seemingly not enjoying the rain here in England. He's now going to have Skowski and Hooveneers behind him instead. So I think it could be a bit of a different story this time.
If memory serves me correct, I'm not sure if Vlad Rosu has ever done particularly well in that weather.
Oh my god, Tottenham might actually do as a big one.
No way are they winning.
They're winning 1-0.
Oh my.
Harry Kane scored as well. He didn't send it into the onto the moon.
Oh,
I don't want to talk about that.
The butterfly effect is in motion.
But if Man City loses, well, I ain't going to complain. But anyway, as Potts is coming into the pits again, and so is Ivanov. Will Ivanov speed this time? No.
He does not.
But why is Potts into the pit?
I am curious.
Is it another front wing for Evan Potts?
He went on to Inters.
Oh, and it is... He's going... No, it's another front wing.
No, he's back on Inters. Or just wings.
It's, he's had 2
Could
wing
he just
changes.
be going for higher wings?
He's had 2 wing changes now.
Do you reckon he has opted to just up his downforce on the wing?
You don't take the wing off for that.
Are you not?
No, they just crank up more wing on the... They crank it up.
Well, it's Codemaster, so I wouldn't be surprised if they did either.
No, because it wouldn't be a wing replacement. Because you can do it in game, and then when you pit, it makes the pit take a little bit longer.
Understandable.
That's all. But so in your contract with McWilliams, who's paying his damages?
50-50.
So currently you're both spending.
I see this as an absolute win because it was 1.5 mil into my pocket.
I would also like to say that so far you've got to pay for 1 DNF fee, and Ivanov's had 2 wing changes, and Potts has had 2, so that's another 250k for Potts.
That's brilliant.
As what's going on there with McWilliams and Matthews? It seems like a bit of a mess.
So I'm not sure what's up with that.
I don't know what just happened. They swapped places multiple times.
Okay, Will Swan and Alex, they are overtaking each other. What the hell is
What's
happening?
happened to Swan?
I'm not sure. Did he fall down or over? He either fell back or overtook someone under safety car, and someone's pit again.
There's a lot of people coming into the pits actually. Because,
Inters.
People are thinking it may be possibly into weather time. Let's actually get a weather report as it's turning to light rain by the looks of it, so the track may be drying up.
It's true. Alfred Monk seems to be a big fan of taking risks.
He does love a good risk. As it'll be interesting to see the tyre wear on some of these guys as they're running. Fantenberg, someone who's known for wearing his tyres quite well, is already on 15% rear left, so very much wearing his tyres. Ivanov, your driver, is ahead of Monk now.
Yes, but
on fresh.
Ivanov is also on wet.
But there's still a lot of standing water, so it is a gamble of when to go, because if they go onto them too early, it could be easy spins. But the people who have taken the risk is Ule, Monk, Day, and Bean, and Potts. Potts, who is actually ahead of Ivanov. But I think for this restart, we might want to ride with Skowski, see if he's able to keep up with the back of Kizyol. The front runners not wanting to pit for the Inters. Is this going to be detrimental to them?
Now, The question is, will the rain pick up again?
Currently, a report didn't say it would pick up again. And the safety car is in this lap.
See how fast or slow will Kizzy opt to go.
The main thing I want to watch is how are them Interrunners going to compete with the full wet drivers.
It's true. I believe the full wet drivers might get maybe an initial boost of traction. But we'll have to wait and see. Also see how the lap times evolve once they actually start racing again.
So riding here with Skowski all over the rear of Kiziel. Doesn't want to give him an inch.
Oh, bit of contact ahead, I actually think.
But Kiziel's gone and gets a good jump on Skowski as well.
Oh, 6 tenths nearly.
But further back, Rosu under pressure from Vandenberg. But it's going to be Kiziel leading us through here. With Skowski in P2, Hoovenier's keeping up with the back of Skowski. Hoovenier's running a much deeper line there. Isn't able to do anything with it though through the loop. And Rosu seemingly under a bit of pressure from Vandenberg behind. But actually it's Vandenberg who's under attack from Marco Mangano. Both Ferrari drivers once again having a very, very good afternoon. But Rasmussen gets a monster drive out. Looks for an impossible move on the inside. But thinks better
against it. As Soybean overtakes Alex Day just on the Luffield straight now.
The Wellington straight. The
Wellington straight, that's the one, sorry.
And Swan picks up a 3 second already. This is not good for Swan. He's P8 at the moment. But with the a 3 second penalty, and Day has spun. Day has had a moment, and that's on that's a weird place to lose it as well. But Rosu under pressure. He's got a bit of a train forming, not really hanging on to the front three as he would like
These
to.
Inters not to mention, the Inters don't seem to be doing too hot.
Oh, and that is Bean also spinning through Maggots and Beckett's.
Right on the exit onto the straight. Will he get in his teammate's way? Nearly. Nearly.
I would like to point out though, Skowski has actually pulled back to the rear of Kiziel, while Kiziel sets the fastest lap of the race. But if the rain keeps being this light, I don't think the full wet drivers are gonna have a big enough lead to pit on the and undercut the Inters.
That is true, because I mean they're like, let's see, roughly 3 seconds away, given Ivanov's gap as well.
It's quite a long pit stop.
No, I mean they're the Interrunners are 3 seconds away from the next, like from the train of wet runners.
No, but Potts is right behind McWilliams. Potts is still right there.
That's what it was meaning, because Ivanov is 2 seconds away from Potts.
But Monk isn't really threatening Ivanov. Oule isn't threatening Ivanov, so it is definitely a unpredictable one. Actually, Skowski is looking mightily close. As that's an AlphaTauri who's binned it again.
He's damaged his wing.
He's damaged his wing, so he will need to pit. But Skowski right on the rear of Kiziel. It'll be a very interesting fight that we're about to witness. Further back as well, it looks like Matthews is getting into it with Van Loon and Evan Potts. Potts, who has got past McWilliams now. Potts must really be feeling them intermediate tyres.
He doesn't seem to be doing too bad on them. I think it's currently at that period where no tyre is that much faster.
Rosu under a lot of pressure from Vandenberg. Vandenberg almost losing it, and Hooven is coming into the pits, and so is Marco. They're going to be double stacking the Ferraris.
4 Inters presumably.
Yes, 4 Inters as Kiziel and Skowski have quite the gap to the next car now, and Vlad, it's over 3 seconds already. And it won't be good for the Ferraris, because that is a double stack that's going to lose Marco Mangano a lot of time.
Sadly, unlike real life, double stacking doesn't work.
Rosu's under a lot of pressure, and Harris picks up a 3-second time penalty. Harris and Swan duking it out currently for P6. But Rosu is under a lot of pressure here from Vandenberg.
Harris is very close to Swan.
Will Vandenberg be able to make the move here into Kops? Seems to be getting a drive. But no, Harris and Swan are battling it out. Harris gets Swan on the Hamilton straight.
I believe, I'm not sure, but I think Harris might be running a bit lower wings.
I think the important thing that we might need to... he must be, because Swan all over his rear there.
Through the turns. Let's see the straight here. Yeah, yeah.
Vlad's under attack from Vandenberg. Vandenberg moving up to P3. Side by side through Stowe. Oh! Vandenberg spins! Took it too tight. There was no contact. Just took it a little too tight. And wasn't able to catch the car.
And Swan's pitting.
Swan pits. There's a Red Bull in the pits.
Rosu, a lot of people. Skowski, Rasmussen, sorry. Oh,
so,
God, the positions are jumping.
Watch Hooveners though, because Hooveners pitted a lap earlier than Skowski. Will he jump him in the pits?
True.
And surely this really... Potts could have made an absolutely tactical master plan by being the first one on them intermediates. As Bean sets the fastest lap. And Hooveners is racing Skowski out of the pits. Skowski coming out there now. And he doesn't jump him in the pits. So both of these guys will be trying to push to catch Kiziel. And Rasmussen as well, now up into P2 with Harris right behind him.
The question is, when do the top three pit, if ever?
Well, some of the wet runners surely have to switch to the intermediates now.
I'm not sure why we got a yellow flag there.
I don't know, but currently Mangano and Swan are battling it out on the Wellington Straight. Swan ahead of Mangano. This rain really causing people issues though with strategies.
This is true. This is all over the place, really.
Kiziel has a monster lead though to his teammate now, and Potts is all over the rear of Harris. Potts getting a much better drive on that intermediate tyre, but Harris able to fend him off. Oh, Harris gets a big snap, and it will be Kiziel into the pits, Rasmussen into the pits, and Harris into the pits. Potts will now be your race leader.
Net P1.
And Harris speeds into the pit lane as well. That's a 5-second penalty for Alex Harris. But Potts,
how much of a gap can Potts create here?
That is the important thing. And Monk will go up into P2 probably, with Ule P3. The guys who was able to keep their cool on the intermediate tyre without spinning now, putting themselves right up there. And Soybean's flying as well. Watch Bean to Kiziel. Bean's out in front of Kiziel. Kiziel's going to lose the positions to Skowski and to Hooveners as well. It's a disaster for Kiziel. Kiziel goes from P1 to P7 as Bean getting a little bit loose through Village onto the loop. And Rasmussen loses positions to both the Mercedes as well. Staying out extra has not paid off.
We've also missed, but Alfred Monk is in P2.
I did say that everyone who didn't spin on the intermediate tyre is now in a really good position.
They are very much in a good position.
But I wonder how Potts' tyres are doing. And he's only at 20% wear on the rears. Can he do another 16 laps? He's 6 laps on them intermediate tyre. And Bean is under pressure now from Skowski. And literally, as we say that, Bean, he picks up a 3-second. So really feeling the pressure from Skowski behind. Hooveners currently has the fastest lap as well, which is going to be very important.
See, Skowski eyeing up a move, but the side's very much against him. The Stowe against him.
Oh, and Bean getting very loose there around Stowe. And is Monk taking time out of Potts?
He is.
Monk is catching Potts. And Marco picks up a 3-second penalty. So both Marco and Swan now, both with 3-second penalties. Harris pitted for full wet tyres.
Oh, God.
He went onto a second set of full wet, so that's a disaster for Alex Harris.
I think that might be Alex Harris's win out of the picture.
I think that's points out of the picture for Harris. He's going to be all the way behind Day. But meanwhile, Marco is right behind Swan, looking for a move up the inside of the loop. They're side by side. Isn't able to make the move though. Swan able to defend off the Ferrari. And Day picks up a 3-second time penalty meanwhile. But yes, Monk has gained about half a second on Potts. And he's pulling away from Ule. Monk might be the wet man.
Wet master.
As Matthews is being pressured here by Rasmussen and Vandenberg. Currently riding in P11.
I would never say monkeys like the wet.
What?
Drunky monkey.
Oh. I was very confused then.
It's okay, it was a shit joke.
Language.
I apologize, sorry. It was a bad joke.
As Bean again runs very wide through Stowe. Bean has not been enjoying Stowe here. And it is really enabling Skowski to pile on the pressure. And meanwhile, Kiziel, who was your pole-placed driver.
Hoovenier's the fastest lap.
Hoovenier's is flying, starting to pull a little bit away from Kiziel. As Matthews is really holding his... Oh! Being getting very loose there for a second. And surely will be coming under attack on the Wellington straight now from Skowski. Skowski slots right in behind. Let's ride on board with currently P5 in Skowski. But Bean gets a big exit.
Skowski is catching him though.
In the corners.
So close.
Seems to have him. But on the straights.
Let's see. Can Skowski catch Soybean on the straight? He is catching him, but not by that much.
Skowski deploying his battery he was for a bit. He's under 50% battery now and is really trying to keep the pressure on Bean. And Potts is losing a lot of time to Monk. Potts, who made the decision to be the first one on the intermediate. But Monk showing that he's got prowess in the wet.
He really does. If only add this prowess in the dry as well.
But Skowski, again, not able to be close enough to make a move on Bean. Bean, though, running very loose once again on Stowe. Bean really struggling with these high-speed corners as Monk sets the fastest lap of the race now. He's definitely flying.
I'm not sure how much faster he was than Hoovenier's.
Well, we're about to see, because Hoovenier's, who looks like he's on another big lap, as Kizu actually sets the fastest lap, goes sub 40.
Just.
And the weather, in 30 minutes or so, it might clear up, but I don't think that's enough time for it to enough time to have an effect on the track itself. So I think it's going to be intermediate conditions for the rest of the race. As meanwhile, Swan is still having to defend off Marco Mangano for that P9 position.
I think P1, P3, if none of them, from P1 to P3, if none of them spin, I think this is how we might see it play out.
Possibly, but Monk is gaining.
Around.
And Harris sets the fastest lap. Harris all over the back of Alex Day there. But we see running in P5, Skowski thinking about a move there on Bean. Really starting to put a bit more pressure. Bean struggling through the high-speed corners.
Could be a black now force.
Oh, Bean spin! As we say it, Bean's
was
binned
right
it.
on the right on the exit.
Does he have damage from that as well?
I'm not sure he does.
He'll be hoping he doesn't. But now it's an Alfa Romeo 3-4 again. where they started, other than they flipped around. And now let's have a look who are the big gainers and losers. And it will be Bean. Potts is up 14 places, and Bean is up 10. Monk up 7. The people who have lost the most places, though, will be Alex Harris, Kizyul, and Rosu. And Phantomberg, actually, down 6. And Bean now behind Rosu. So, not good for Bean with that 3-second penalty as well. Meanwhile, Mangano getting very creative through Village once again. Side by side with Swan. Swan tries to pinch him in.
Ooh.
Oh, and they both run it a little bit deep.
Ooh. Maybe too much elbows.
That's neither of them spinning though.
Will Swan go for a move again onto Mangano?
Oh, and there's contact!
Oh, contact! But they don't spin! Oh my god.
And Swan now up the inside of Luffield.
I believe Mangano might have just let Swan through.
Swan around the outside of Brooklands gets the move done on the inside of Luffield. And he'll be pushing on. But meanwhile, look at Monk is gaining.
Monk has really closed that gap. Gaining on Ule by quite the margin.
Oh, you mean on Potts?
Oh no, he's gaining on Ule and catching Potts.
Well, he's pulling away from Ule.
Yeah. You get what I mean.
I get what you mean.
And that is Alex Day again.
Alex Day not having...
And he's lost his wing.
Again. Day has been taking off all his wings. As Monk is really starting to gain on Potts. It's under a second now.
Now, what will be interesting to see is, will they get their elbows out? Will it be hard fighting, or will it be mutual understanding?
We will see. But meanwhile, actually, currently the battle for P11, as Matthews is still got Phantomberg right behind him. And he's still within, they're all within touching distance of Mangano and Swan, and they both have 3-second penalties. And Matthews has 6.
Phantomberg was eyeing up a move onto Matthews, but decided against it.
Phantomberg, who lit up the Monaco streets last week, not quite having the same performance this week.
Could almost say he's drawing the track out.
But he's all over the rear, that Mercedes of Matthews. As Kizyul is still behind Huveniers. This is very important for the drivers standing.
Has Kizyul been catching Huveniers?
They've been trading lap times.
That is true. They did set very similar lap. I'm not sure if Kizyul's overall been catching Huveniers.
But Mangano has dropped off the back now of Swan. Maybe there's a bit of damage from that contact.
See, Soybean trying to catch Vlad Rosu. He does seem to be actually gaining on him.
Vlad, who has not been enjoying these wet conditions. He was rapid in qualifying, but in the rain, Rosu's been washed away a little bit.
Yeah, it seems Soybean might have some of the higher wings.
Oh! Kizyul spins! Kizyul catching it, but he's now going to be on the threat from Rosu and Bean possibly, but that is going to throw the spanner in the work for Kizyul if he wanted to win this race now, surely.
Right as you said that, Soybean nearly collided with Vlad Rosu.
And Harris sets the fastest lap again. Harris will be needing a safety car though if he wants to score any real points here today.
Best thing you can do now is
pray.
Yeah. Really is just pray.
As here we have Bean all over the back of Rosu. We're going to ride on board here with Bean. He's got 65% battery. But will he be able to...
Alfred Monk sit 5/10 behind Evan Potts.
Oh, they're right, but they're fighting each other now. Former teammates.
Hurts to watch. This hurts to watch.
But we're riding with Soybean here because he gets a monster exit onto the hangar straight. but isn't close enough to make a move on Vlad. Wasn't deploying any battery though, and he gets a much better drive through Stowe there.
Only go for a move into the corner.
Interval doesn't go for the move.
Alex Day, head spinning again.
Oh, and we're gonna switch because it's now the battle for P1 really heating up here. Monk and Potts. Monk has been pushing hard, looking to get his second race win of the season. There's only two types of monk in this league: drunky monkey or wet weather maestro monkey. And he's hounding Potts now.
Oh, he is all over the back of him. This is nerve-wracking to watch.
Meanwhile,
Alex Harris
flying.
He is flying. Too bad it's doing him no favors.
As the front two are looking to the weather. So it's expected to rain for at least the next 10 minutes, 15 minutes. It might clear up. And Marco Mangano picks up another 3-second penalty. So he's on 6 seconds now.
I'm sorry, I'm paying attention to this fight for P1. It is very nerve-wracking.
We're gonna ride him
going for a move.
In the Vale chicane.
Oh my god, he is ahead. He's got P1.
Monk up into P1. Potts drops down to P2. Will Potts give up that position though?
Monk got a bit squiggly on the exit, but he kept it clean.
As Day now into the pits, and Skowski and Ule have swapped positions. Skowski is now ahead of Ule, and Skowski...
Alex Day is on mediums.
It's still raining.
I am not sure what that one's about, but...
It's a big risk. Possible... if anyone's going to bring out a safety car now, surely it's the medium runner.
Hopefully not.
For your sake.
For my sake, hopefully not. For the stream's sake, hopefully.
Give me this. And Day,
oh no. Okay, he's letting everyone through.
Oh, and Kizyul Rasmussen getting a little bit loose. As Swan and Mangano are battling it out again for P9.
I'd also like to say that Monk has almost pulled out a whole second just into Sector 2.
And Day has spun.
Those mediums really not doing him favours.
Definitely too early for their mediums. But we're going to ride on board with Marco because he is hounding Swan. But he's got to pull away by 3 seconds as well. He's got 3 extra seconds worth of penalties. And currently, actually, Marco would fall behind Vandenberg and Rasmussen. Marco is not going to be scoring points as things stand.
Alex Day spins again.
And has he caught Harris there?
He has. Alex Harris has no wing.
Oh, no.
Alex Harris has decided to take matters into his own hands.
What is going on?
Oh my god.
And Harris is out.
He is, he DNF'd himself.
I'm sure we're going to have a ticket on it.
I apologise, but that was too funny to watch.
We didn't catch it on stream, but
I saw it coming out of left field. Harris saw that.
What did
Alex
they
Day
do?
was off track. I think Alex Day spun somewhere before Lovefield collected Harris, got his wing.
Oh no!
Oh no!
Oh
no! Oh no!
What is he
no.
doing? What is he doing?
Sorry. Anyways, let's finish off what I was saying. He got Harris's wing. Harris saw he was off track. He slowed down on purpose, waited for him to get ahead, and just slammed into him.
Oh, and he spins again right in front of Ule this time. Oh my god.
Oh my god.
Why did AlphaTauri sign him?
I am sorry. That was the funniest thing I've ever seen.
And Day has now retired.
Oh my
I
god!
think someone's going to have to watch public chat. Anyway, but back to the
racing.
racing.
Me to get on that.
Yeah, it might not be a bad idea.
I think
Ooh.
the fire was put out
And,
before it started.
Swan has been passed by Marco Mangano meantime. And,
Oh, someone's taking his place back.
but he's not clean
oh,
Mangano switchbacks.
Getting a bit into, why is there an AlphaTauri car on the track?
It's Day's AI. When you retire in the pit, you come back out.
Oh, that makes perfect sense. Anyways,
Oh,
this fight between Swan and Mangano
is
heating up.
Yes, it is
Yeah,
indeed.
his elbows are all the way out.
want-
None of them are giving up easy.
I want to point out an important thing as well. Skowski's flying with 6 laps to go. He's honing in on the back of Potts, and he's been taking chunks out of
Oh my
Monk as
god!
well. He's going very fast. As meanwhile, oh, and it's contact between Marco and Swan.
What? That's Swan's wing.
That is Swan's end plate gone.
Does he pit? He does not pit. Does he go for vengeance? He doesn't. Oh.
But he's going to struggle with these right-handers now. And he's got his teammate behind him. His teammate who doesn't have a time penalty lets his teammate through.
That is probably the smart thing to do, just like in Monaco.
Indeed, indeed. Being a real team player. As Matthews picks up another 3-second penalty. But back to the front now, because Skowski is gaining on Potts by quite a bit as well.
Potts, let's remember that Potts in Imola has established himself as a very good defender.
Yes, but with the 2 big long straights, as much as you don't have DRS.
That is true. No DRS to help you, but can he hold Skalski up that much in the corners now?
Because Skowski is flying, and you could still see his purple sector 2 for Skowski.
Skalski is basically giving it his all.
And he's right on the rear now. Potts. We're going to ride on board with Skowski.
Really closing in on him. Alfred Monk is just loving life.
I don't think he'll be loving life though when Skowski gets past Potts. Because Skowski can really put the pressure on Monk.
That was Will Swan spun.
Swan has spun, which is not good for him. Meanwhile,
Indeed.
Vandenberg is all over the rear now of Marco Mangano, but we're watching this battle for second place. Can Potts hold on?
Onto the straights right now. Onto Wellington Straight. I remembered it.
Yes, indeed, and it's in through Brooklands, the left-hander of Brooklands, and the long, winding right-hander of Luffield. And he's really making ground on Potts through that right-hander.
They take a bit different lines through there.
They do
as it's
indeed.
ups and downs. Will Skalski go for a move into Cops? I'd say thankfully he doesn't, because Cops usually doesn't pan out well, and that is, I believe, Jivodar.
And
it is indeed.
Potts' tyres are over 50%, so his tyres must really be feeling it now. And Skowski might be able to get him here on the straight. Slots him behind for the slipstream. Potts defending the inside. Skowski looking to go around the outside. Last time these two were here, they had a coming together on this corner. They keep it clean.
True.
And Skowski's through up into P2. Skowski is now hunting down Alfred Monk. 4 laps to go. Will he be able to do it?
2.8 seconds to catch.
But Skowski has been flying.
He has indeed.
Skowski looking
Potts
to
will
get his first race
just
win.
slot into P3.
He will, as Hoovenir sets the fastest lap meanwhile, closing in onto the back of Ule here.
Do you reckon he can catch him in 3 laps?
It's going to be very close. Meanwhile, further back as well, McWilliams is on the back of Swan now. Swan still hasn't spun with that wing damage.
He has already once spun.
Not spun again. He's still out with the wing damage though.
Yeah.
And under a lot of pressure here from McWilliams. McWilliams not having a race that he'll want to remember, but he's really putting a fight on now.
He is. It's Fantenberg is catching Marco Mangano slightly.
And McWilliams looking for a move into Village side by side with Swan for the outside
Swan
of the
is
loop.
still ahead.
Maybe getting a little bit of a switchback here, possibly. Gets a little bit of a snap, though. Unable to put the power on where he would have wanted. And Swan holds him off. Skowski is bringing that gap down.
He has caught him by 4/10.
In not even one whole lap.
Nearly.
So he's really heating up now. As Marco Mangano still having to fend off Fattenberg. And Marco, 6 seconds of penalties, is going to be behind Rasmussen as things stand.
I'm sorry, chat is heating up a bit.
Oh, I'm aware.
If,
Is Fattenberg just content with staying behind Mangano because of the time penalty, possibly?
Monk has increased the gap again.
And McWilliams actually all over the back of Swan once again, down the hanger straight. Will he be able to make the move this time?
Let's see. Not quite.
No, not quite.
See, going into the corner.
Swan covers the inside. McWilliams, though, taking a wider line, will get a better exit here.
Oh.
It's almost contact as they come through Club. Not able to get him here. And now with 3 laps to go, Skowski is catching up to Monk at quite a rate as well. He will catch him as things stand before the final lap. Monk will have to defend if he wants his second win of the season.
My interval is a bit funky, so I cannot see what the gap is. And he gets a 3 seconds.
Oh! That's huge!
Oh, that is huge.
Skowski doesn't even need to do it on the track. Monk succumbing to the pressure of just Skowski's presence.
As it stands, Skowski will get a win. I'm not sure if that will be his first win.
I think it's his first win of the season. But Skowski in season 4 in his debut season was very fast. Monk needs a miracle now.
Skowski with the fastest lap as well.
Skowski is lighting up the track. As meanwhile, McWilliams once again all over the rear of Swan. He seems a little bit closer than last time. Is he able to make it before Stowe, or would he maybe look to get him out of Stowe? He takes a much tighter line. Swan definitely feeling that wing damage.
McWilliams is really looking where to go, but he just can't get past him.
All over the rear of that McLaren, but not able to do anything once again. Also, Hoovenir is cruising onto the back of Ule, and Ule onto the back of Potts. We might be seeing a battle for P3 still too. But McWilliams still trying to find the move anywhere he can.
Someone's saying the Williams in P16 will take out the Alfa Romeo.
And Marco picks up another 3 seconds. He's on 9 seconds of penalty. Any chances of points for him has been smited out of existence. As Ule is right on the back of Potts here. This is for the final podium position. As things stand, it will be a 1-4 for the Alfa Romeo pairing. As Skowski sets another fastest lap. He is feeling himself out here. But all it takes is Scousey to get a 3-second penalty, as Marco Mangano has now been passed by Fattenberg on the Hangner straight. But on the final lap, is Scousey going to want to do it on the track? He's approached the back of Monk.
More than likely. Depends. Skalski might be just playing it safe. But there is always the slight chance of Alfred Monk having his penalty removed.
I mean, it's very uncommon track limit. And the only one I can think is because Alex Day was being an idiot. If he got one there.
Yeah.
That's the only one I could possibly think of. But also, Monk is under... not Monk. Potts is under a lot of pressure from
6/10
Ule
until the end of the lap.
As Bean is come out of the pits. Bean is in the pits and it drops all the way down to P15. Swan now up into P12. Won't be any points for him as things stand though.
See, Wellington Hanger straight now. Soybean and Swan get another 3 seconds.
But back to this battle for the lead. Is Scousey going to be able to get Monk on the track? We've only got a few corners left to go.
It's true.
As Ivanov sets the fastest lap.
Too bad, no points. And Monk is going to win on track, but with penalties is Skalski's win.
It is Skalski's win, and the battle for third. Potts holding on and defending Ule for P3. P4 for Ule. P5 for Justin Hooveneers. Kiziel coming into P6, and McWilliams picks up a 3-second penalty.
If you will excuse me, I will return shortly.
Okay. And Rosu now, who has been quickly approached by Fattenberg and Marco, will come home in P7. Fattenberg P8. Marco finishes on the track in P9, but Rasmussen, without any penalties, will go ahead of Marco. P11 for Matthews. And then the battle for P12 is Swan is defending off McWilliams. But McWilliams will get ahead of him on time penalties. And then Van Loon ahead of both of them actually for 12th with the time penalties. And then there's Soybean coming in 15th. And the last guy on the track, Jivador Ivanov in P16. And Ivanov spinning on the final corner, doing donuts.
I apologise for leaving like that.
And your driver has just finished.
Yes, I'm aware. And I have been made aware that Alfred Monk did get a warning for that Alex Day part.
Oh, will be very interesting. I hope he remembers what he needs to provide.
I could double check 1 second.
Oh. Thank you very much for the subscription. Again, Kosev gifting another. But Skalski, currently your race leader. And your race winner with Monk picking up that time penalty. So Skalski gets P1, Monk finishes P2, and Evan Potts in P3. Don't think we're ever going to see these teams in real life be on the in this order for a while. Oh, ooh, sorry.
I once again apologise, I'm here.
Welcome back. So Skalski is your race winner due to Monk picking up a 3 second.
Alec Harris is eager to get up into the commentary booth.
Ooh.
that is your call to make.
We shall see. We shall see. As we're going to get ready to do the interviews. Just give it a little bit more time for a couple more drivers to come up into the interview room.
Hopefully, the 3 podium runners will come to do their interviews. Maybe not, though. Let's see.
Okay, we're going to bring up P1 firstly.
Kasper Skalski.
Hello there.
Bring up his
Hello.
team as well.
Hello.
P1 must be
Hello.
very happy with that. It might be a contentious
Hello.
P1 though, because there's a possibility of a time penalty being removed.
Is there?
Mm-hmm.
Yes, that is what I've been told.
Is what we've been informed.
On the other hand, if we're speaking about Monk, he'll get for sure another one, so the standings stand.
Ooh.
Oof. Throwing
At
shade.
least we think so.
But talk us through your race, because you're qualifying, solid qualifying performance, and then jumping Kiziel in the pits with an earlier pit stop, and then you were just flying on them intermediate tyres.
Yes, qualifying went pretty good. To be fair, I didn't really expect such a position to start. P3 very good. But after the restart, when I saw it was raining, I thought to myself, God, another rain race, another shit show it would be. But fortunately, we prepared this time, not like in Brazil last season. And yeah, very good pace from the beginning from Kishel. I couldn't manage to catch him on wets, but the strategic call of Jacob really helped with getting him. I would think it was pretty late call, to be fair, because Potts and Monk jumped us too very much. But yeah, on those inters, I was flying. To be fair, I didn't know if I would catch up to Monk and overtake him, but yeah, very unfortunate for him, but fortunate for me. He got a 3-second time penalty, and what can I say more? I'm back.
Both of you are back as well. Solid performance for you both.
It's true.
Exactly.
You I'm sure Duckett will be over the moon when he sees the result.
I think so, yeah.
Kosev also dropped a gifted sub for your performance today.
Wow.
Another one.
Another one.
And another one.
Yeah.
Yeah, thanks very much, Kosev. We as a team really appreciate that. You don't have to do this, but yeah, we really appreciate it.
Thank
Also,
you,
one
mate.
more thing I would like to say, very good work from our engineer Jacob here. He basically saved us today.
The only thing we could have done better today is probably getting you earlier on this inters with the safety car. But yeah, overall solid performance from the drivers. I just had to make 2 calls to be fair.
Again, though, an astonished performance, and I think you've got the fastest lap as well. Possibly.
No, Kishel got
No, Kishel
That
got
was
it.
Kishel. Yeah.
Kishel stole it on the final lap then, so Kishel
Yeah.
bringing home an extra point there. But all in all, must be happy, and it's Austria next week. It's a sprint race. How do you feel for that?
We'll see. We'll see.
Will it rain?
I don't know. We'll see. To be fair, a very eventful track for me. if you remember season 4. But yeah, I will not seek for any revenge or something like that. I will just do my thing and drive as fast as I can.
And yeah, is there anything else you guys would like to say before we go down to P2 in Monk?
Very good pace, Monk. You deserve that win, to be fair. But yeah, very unfortunate.
And if I may add something, I'm just really grateful to see Pots in the top again. I know the strategy helped you a little bit, but it was just nice catching you up, and I had a hope. I gained 2 seconds in one of last 3 laps, but it wasn't just enough. I needed one more lap, and I didn't have it. We were struggling with tires at the end, but I know you were struggling more than me because you pitted earlier. But yeah, I needed that one extra lap, and I needed 57 thousandths. That would put me actually on sure podium in addition to other Banks penalties. So yeah, unlucky one, but hey, it was solid performance. I wasn't really prepared for the rain. We just had spur setup, we used it, and it suited Kacper really well.
Well, congratulations on the 1-4 today, boys. Solid result for you both.
Well, thank you.
Okay, next we're going to bring up P2 in Alfred Monk. Monk P2.
Engineers. Not
Where is his
present,
engineer?
sadly. Not present.
Ah. P2 Monk is very unlucky.
He here?
Yeah.
He is okay.
He sounds very dejected. I think we can understand why.
A second win in a row at this track. Just
Away.
yep. Hoping we get the penalty removed, but knowing the FIA, it'll probably not get removed.
Okay. No need.
I don't really know what to say to that. Talk us through your race, because you made the bold strategy to pit not as early as Potts though, but it still paid off in the end.
Yeah. Well. I was just sitting on the safety car asking Mark about weather. And like, on the second lap of safety car, I was just like, fuck it, it's gonna be into soon enough, and the pit's around 30 seconds, so I'm not gonna lose that in 5 laps. So I decided to pit, and yeah, that's
Worked wonders for you.
clearly.
Yet again, taking a risk for the early mediums, and it paid off.
Inters, not mediums.
Inters, that's what I meant.
Yeah.
And yeah, next week is Austria. How do you feel for Austria?
I don't like the track.
Ah.
Yeah, it's just a boring track. Like, it's not good for racing.
It does give brilliant racing.
It's just DS trains, Luke. Like, it's just DS trains all over the place. It's not good. DS trains is not good for racing.
I'll let you have your own opinion on the track.
I mean, I know you love it, but DS trains is not good for loving.
Get his first Amethyst win in Austria.
And I was his engineer.
Exactly.
But anyway, anything else you'd like to add before we go down to P3?
I mean, a good job from Potts to be up there. I'm glad he didn't give me much of a fight, because otherwise Skalski might have gotten me in the end. But yeah.
Well, congratulations on P2 today, Monk. Well deserved.
Yeah, thank you.
Now we're going to bring up P3 and Potts. Evan
Hello,
Potts,
lads.
you're collecting them all of the teams.
Well, that was my final race, I think, in Amethyst. So it was a nice one to bow out on.
Oh, how comes?
You know, I started my career in Amethyst at Silverstone. I think it's best ended at Silverstone.
So you're leaving?
Leaving driving.
Oh, is that?
I'll happily replace Pavic as team principal anytime.
Will we expect you to make a return for the new game?
Possibly. It depends on what the game's like and if I have to focus on studies or not.
Ah. So your final drive in Amethyst is a P3 in Silverstone. You was the first one on the intermediates. It was a bold strategy.
It was. I didn't know how bold it was because my wing got broke. I thought I'll just risk it. I was going to DNF lap 1 to bow out because I couldn't be bothered to race. But yeah, I seen it was raining. I thought I'll stick it out. There'll be some chaos. I pitted for the inners. I got wing damage coming out of the pits on the inners, so I thought, right, I'm pitting for the wets again. I get to the pits and I just think, I'm just going to risk it. And then it turned out quite well.
And
Went well for you. Like your teammate in Imola, the early inters paid off.
I mean, the real plan was just to gaslight the rest of the field into going on the inners if they weren't good. But
it paid off.
It really did.
And you're up here on the podium today.
yeah, perfect way to end it.
Exactly. Anything that you want to say as you're not going to be driving in Austria next week?
It's been a pleasure to race people like Skelski, Rosu, Ule, Harris at times, Monk when he's not spinning. You know, everyone in TR2's a great bunch, and I'm excited to see how things unfold. As long as Will Swan's not champion.
Well, congratulations on your P3 today, and it'd be a shame to see you not on the racetrack.
Cheers, lad.
Come back soon.
Okay, we're gonna. I've got time for 2 more.
Can we trust Alex Harris?
He hasn't put his hand up, so we're gonna bring up Bean. Bean, a race to forget, a qualifying to forget as well.
Yeah. I mean, I didn't do any practice. I didn't have time today, so I was still expecting I could do okay in qualifying, but I just I stole someone's setup, some dodgy setup of time trial, so there was literally 0 rear downforce, so I just kept spinning. I couldn't finish the lap, but then I was like, okay, fine, I'll just start from the back. It's all good. And then I don't know if you saw the picture that I sent in general, but I was basically, when it started raining, I had no idea what to do for my wet setup, and I ended up misjudging it. I didn't have enough time, and one of my rear tire pressures was minimum and the other one was maximum, so it basically felt like someone was constantly crashing into the back of my car every time I went through a corner. So yeah,
That would explain why Stowe was such a problem.
I had to live with that for the race, but I mean, I got the right strategy, if you would call it that, and then just to add the cherry on top, on the second last lap, I decided to get a front right puncture. So then I had to pit.
That is why you pit.
Yeah, that is why I pitted. So yeah, I mean, yeah, not a good day, but I think I can definitely. I'm not too far behind, so I should be able to get back in there.
And Austria next week, how do you feel for that track?
I'm pretty much going to echo what the last guy said. It's literally whoever's behind just gets carried by the person in front of them. So I don't really like the track itself, but I guess it could be worse. Like if it stops raining, that's a win for everyone, pretty much.
Wet Austria's elite. What are you saying?
But as long as it's not raining, I think everyone will be grateful for that.
And is there anything else you want to say before we go back down to anyone else for an interview?
Well, I didn't know Potts was leaving, so I'd say goodbye to him. He's a good guy, and maybe a bit less of the complaining now that he's gone, that I'm a bit too fast. So And I know he was. I mean, obviously he's not being that serious, but still, yeah, good guy, clean racer as well. So hopefully he'll come back in the future. So, yeah, that's it.
Sad for the result today, but I'm sure you'll be back with a vengeance.
Yeah, should do. Alright, see you next week.
Yep.
We're gonna bite the bullet. We're gonna...
Come on, Alex Harris. He's muted.
Hello.
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 How is everybody today? Who wants to hear about my race?
Can you keep it PG-13?
Yeah, 12-year-olds can hear what I've got to say.
Okay.
Alex Day is an absolute moron.
Okay.
So, yeah, quality was a bit shit, couldn't get a lap together. Started raining as usual in Tier 2 this season. Nice. We started well.
Back rain.
The wets were awful, hated every second of it. Inters seemed to go alright when I actually got the inters on. That was a big problem. Pit crew decided not to put inters on the first time. That was race over without a safety car anyway. So I just thought I'd get my head down, show some pace. Got past Day pretty quickly the first time because obviously it's so slow and awful that he shouldn't be in Tier 2 anyway. And then while I'm listening to the streams and looking at the mini-map as I'm just trolling around Silverstone, I hear that he's got mediums on. I'm like, ooh, Hedgrow, just keep an eye on that for me, please. Just see what they're like. And Hedgrow goes, no, bad idea. He keeps spinning. And then I get through to, I can't remember what corner it was, but he just seems to be doing donuts in the middle of a corner. And takes my wing off. And that was it. My head went, and I did a monkey. And he proceeded to have the audacity to call me out in chat. I think it seriously needs to be looking into that he shouldn't race in Tier 2 ever again, if I'm honest.
It was entertaining to watch.
I didn't catch
I'm
it.
glad you think so, because it wasn't entertaining for me.
It was for me, I'll tell you that much.
Between you and Alex Day, I don't know who's caused more carnage. The guy literally eats dinner in the middle of a friggin' race and then is allowed to race. Is absolutely brain dead that he's allowed to be in a competitive tier this year.
You're saying Tier 3 is not competitive.
I'm saying he wouldn't be competitive in Tier 9, mate.
Oh God!
Is there anything? How do you feel for Austria?
It depends if Alex Day's racing or not.
Fair enough. Is there anything else you'd like to add before we end the stream?
Potts is the only Geordie that I like. Swan can fuck off. It's a shame that he's going. I hope Monk gets the penalty overturned, just so he doesn't have to update his profile again. Anything else? No, but it seems like I haven't lost too much out because it seemed like the standings were all a bit jumbled and the top people were at the back on low points, and it looks like it's going to be even closer.
Yes.
Am I right in thinking that?
Yes, it's about to get a lot closer again.
I know I've lost ground because of a numpty and my pit crew, but other than that, it's just a bit of a shambles, really, isn't it? And I hope it does get looked at by the FIA that he's in Tier 2, or even allowed to drive. If Alpha Tauri had in a TP that was active, I'm sure he'd get looked at as a driver anyway.
Thank you very much for coming up here and explaining what happened in your race to us. And hopefully next week you're able to have a much more enjoyable one.
I don't know who's worse, Alex Day or McWilliams. Any comments, chat?
McWilliams just catching smoke. Alright, thank you very much.
Peace out.
Goodbye.
Bye-bye.
On that note, we're gonna go to we're gonna end the stream here, and we'll see you all next week. Goodbye.
Bye.